What's good, my people, man? Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate all y'all for tapping in, 7 up, man, running this channel up. I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you always notified, man. When you like the channel, it always helps this community grow. Don't forget, we got the 2 names we choosing for the community. Last video I already went down to 2 names. We got the collective, and then we got the power tribe or power clan, whichever one y'all want to go with. But, and I'm also saying, if I have a stance on something and y'all don't agree with it and y'all feel like y'all gotta unsubscribe, bro, you don't have to put it in the comments and let me know. You can just unsubscribe, G. Because what you don't like, a million other people will. And if you gonna unsubscribe based off somebody's stance or opinion, this ain't the channel for you, because this is supposed to be an open door for everybody to have their differences and be able to see the similarities at the same time and then be unified through that. Not be divided through the differences. But, no further ado, we're gonna go right into this next video, man.
He was here yesterday. He was here yesterday. Snoop was.
It's Sunday.
Yeah. Snoop died right before his career took off. When on his album cover where it says Calvin Broadus with his birthday and his death date, that's for real. That person is not Snoop.
I was reading your thing when you said Thursday. I was like, maybe she's saying they like transcended. Maybe they like
Murder was the case.
Toddy says they're in a sunken place.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think y'all was nice. I said, people dead.
Listen, when we found today about Big Boy, because I was like, how is Big Boy here? You know what I'm saying? Baby, I can't, babe.
I got a question for y'all. Why is it that it's not mandatory to learn the law in school, if this is something that dictates our presence in America? Today, y'all, we finna be hold on. I gotta close the blinds because they ain't gonna like this. Today, we're gonna talk about the dark history of law. This particular situation I'm gonna go over about Emmett Till is going to explain why black people don't respect the law. To not get banned or CDG, this video is strictly for educational purposes. This is the story of a little boy who had a stuttering problem who visited his great uncle's house. He ends up getting abducted from his home. Killed, mutilated, his eyes were gouged out, shot, and he was 14 years old. All because this woman said that he whistled at her. Now, these demons who killed him, they did not go to jail and they were convicted not guilty. We got 50 plus years going by. She ends up saying, oh, he didn't whistle at me. I lied. Now, when we try to bring this case back, the grand jury declines to indict her, right? But this little boy died. She is still alive, but she's not in jail now. Let me ask y'all, why do y'all think Karens exist? And yes, they were existing back then, putting false accusations on black people. They know that these laws are made against us. That's why they use it to apprehend us. They made laws to catch runaway slaves. They made laws to say that we cannot vote. We have to take literacy tests. We can't live in specific places. They have upgraded and created these amendments to seem ethical. But the same situations keep happening. These laws and the original Constitution and everything that plays a part with that was never meant for us. Therefore, it can never work for people of color. Black Panther activist Angela Davis was wrongfully convicted of murder and the FBI was looking for her. Like I said, creating laws so they can take you. She ends up beating the case. Before the FBI to even accuse these things of her and legally try to kidnap her, that shows that they can do whatever they want. It's the same thing with Assata Shakur. Now let's just listen to her words.
The FBI, with the help of local police agencies, systematically fed false accusations and fake news articles to the press, accusing me and other activists of crimes we did not commit.
This happened 20 plus 30 years ago and they still want her head.
National and local police agencies created a situation where, based on their false accusations against me, any police officer could shoot me on sight.
Now the things that are done to our people in the name of the law, being shot 60 times unarmed, and this is all the law has to say.
Or why officers initially deployed non-lethal tasers.
I don't know. I'm not gonna respond to that because it would be
He don't know.
A police chief saying he doesn't know why. That's all the answers we get, according to the law.
A program that was set up by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to eliminate all political opposition to the U.S. government's policies, to destroy the black liberation movement in the United States.
And that is the dark history of law. Y'all stay dangerous always.
Hey, on the past clip, if y'all ain't never heard Murder Was a Case by Snoop, go listen to that. It's kind of weird. I think he talking to himself. You gotta listen to it. It's weird. It sounds like he's dead. He's giving up his soul or something to the devil. That's what it sounds like in the song. Check it out. But seeing those clips about Assata Shakur, I mean, I already knew and already familiar with Assata Shakur and all the, all that with the Black Panthers. But now, if you wasn't familiar, now you could kind of see why they would be afraid of a man like Tupac. The people he was raised by and the people he came from and the stuff he was saying. Not all the time, because, he still was young, so he was saying some wild stuff here and there. But majority of the time, bro, he was coming with it. So, yeah, now you see why they may have feared a man like him. Oh, copyright. Gotta mute it, bruh. Gotta mute it. They hit me with the copyright quickness. Can't be going for that. But they got invisible suits and jackets. Why wouldn't they have a plane?
You see the hologram, right? Or you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real, and found out later he was a hologram.
It's a synthetic. The synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, if you guys can rent a video on the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Soviets had a different method.
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, working from people.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about
Well,
that?
let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just going to act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? It needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep too. It's, again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone. Because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. And the original technology was given to our government by the Greys. Now, the reason was, because our scientists were all excited because we could have spare parts. If you need a heart or a liver or anything, you won't have any rejection. It's your own DNA, right?
Okay, because theoretically, if we have overpopulation, we don't need more people, right?
In China, they're going around and stealing everybody's food, spraying all their houses with poison and basically stealing all their food out of their fridges. If people they think are testing COVID positive, they're wrapping them up in tape and putting them in vehicles like they're a package or something.
Okay. First of all, man, I told y'all they be trying to play God by recreating people. This is like they clone Tyrone. I'm telling y'all, bruh. They trying to play God. They think they got that much control. They could. Anyways, we gonna leave that topic alone. Just know they be trying to play God. But my second take, when they in that house disinfecting, that ain't America. Ain't nobody in America going for that. I mean, there may be a few people, you might catch a few in America cool with that, but majority of the people in America ain't going for that. And for one, you ain't coming to my house and you emptying all my food. You supposed to be disinfecting. Why you in the refrigerator, bro? What you throwing my food away for? And if you ain't gonna put back in on this, especially with this inflation going, because I know I'm not the only one feeling this inflation. But they come to my house like that, we tripping. We knocking all of them out. All of them. And everybody in my house is down for the same cause. We knocking them all out. Because y'all gotta go. Y'all can't be up in here. We causing ruckus through our own crib if they coming in there doing that. Like, that's just wild. Y'all put in the comments if y'all letting them dump y'all food in the garbage when they coming in the house to disinfect. And let me know if y'all even let them come in y'all house to disinfect when y'all could do that yourself. You don't know what they spraying. What if they spraying something like, just think of the worst of the worst. And ask yourself, what if they were spraying that in your house and when you touch your doorknob, you get it? Oh, bro, I'd be so hot. Oh, hell no. I told y'all this ain't in America, bruh. Man, all the homies going down with this. Bro, we causing hell on earth for this, bruh. Bro!
And they're even testing vegetables for COVID.
Oh, I know you. You can't be serious. Bro, they taped him up because he wasn't feeling that well. Whatever happened in 2020 wasn't having him feel that well. The aftermath to that. But what's crazy is, like, why would you tape him up like that? For what? Just, like, what? And then on top of that, they test vegetables. They probably testing fruit, too, on it. But that's just wild because, like, wow. I feel slow right now because I feel like why I didn't think that could happen. Why I didn't think that they would have to test, they would throw it in our food. I don't. If y'all already thought about it, bro, hey, shout out to y'all, because I'm just now catching up. And yeah, that one, I don't know why I didn't think that. I would have thought that. But hey, I thought about it today.
What's been found beneath this church is like a time capsule. During the bombing raids of the Second World War, the foundation of the church was badly disturbed. To secure the building, engineers had to dig down below street level. While digging, they broke through to the ancient world. Buried beneath a 12th century church, this lost city sat at the intersection of two major thoroughfares. 1600 years ago, it would have been bustling with people, oblivious to what was about to happen.
Large portions of the city were actually swallowed up by the mudslides.
These will pullulate with sensors, all joined together by the Internet of Things, and the urban environment is as antiseptic as a Zurich pharmacy. But this technology could also be used to keep every citizen under round-the-clock surveillance. In future, Alexa will pretend to take orders, but this Alexa will be watching you, clapping her tongue and stamping her foot. In future, voice connectivity will be in every room and almost every object. Your mattress will monitor your nightmares, your fridge will beat for more cheese, your front door will sweep wide the moment you approach like some silent butler. Your smart meter will go hustling of its own accord for the cheapest electricity, and every one of them minutely transcribing your every habit in tiny electronic shorthand, stored not in their chips or in their innards, nowhere you can find it, but in some great cloud of data that lowers ever more oppressively over the human race. AI. What will it mean? robots watching him caring for an aging populational pink-eyed Terminator sent back from the future to cull the human race.
If I'm not mistaken, don't those cell towers that pose as trees read our thoughts?
They hide the hell out of that green screen. As a matter of fact, I think it rolls up into a little tube because most of the images where you could get a peek at it are now not so easy to find. They took the money for Hubble. They never built it. They built a dummy model which got showed to the public. The reason for that is because nobody can go above low Earth orbit, and they knew they could never put it in space. They then went to Congress and got another billion, having pocketed the first billion, and all they made was a model, and they built an identical piece of equipment and put it on Sophia, a 747. From specs, could see a little bit better than the one that was supposed to be in space.
Sophia took the same exact picture of Hubble on the same day of the same exact object in space. He says, I was on that mission. You were on board Sophia when you took that photo? He says, yeah, we did that.
Jackpot.
And I said, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. Mike Maslinsky is the deputy program manager for the Hubble Space Telescope.
Y'all seen it. It said going nowhere. That's exactly where they going, because we ain't believing nothing about the globe, Earth. Man, Earth's not a globe. It's flat.
Everything was covered in mud.
The avalanche of mud rolls relentlessly on. Struggling to turn back the torrent, inhabitants quickly throw up sandbag barricades. But there is no stemming the mounting waves of mud. 2,500 residents of Sierra Madre, near Los Angeles, are forced to flee their homes. Tons upon tons of debris cover the countryside. Damage runs into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The muddy coating is 4 feet thick in some places. Homes are engulfed. The job of cleaning up is a monumental task. Bulldozers move in as the stricken countryside tackles Operation Dig Out.
Not too far removed. 90% of the African American population in the Americas has Native ancestry, has Aboriginal ancestry. And so when you start talking about civics, and that's the reason why I say I don't subscribe to civil rights at all. Civil rights is not for us. Our fight is human rights. As indigenous people to this land, and we are indigenous people to this land. The federally recognized tribes, they're not going to tell you that because the federally recognized tribes have taken PACs and they've taken money from the government to keep the information out of the hands of our people. Everybody has had a hand in our oppression, collectively. Every other group that has come here as immigrants, whether they came because the Native American population that we look at as TV Indians or Hollywood Indians, their ancestors came here from across the Bering Straits from Siberia. So they are not indigenous people. When they got here, they met people that look like us. Okay, so the population that comes from racism, systemic racism, the same way they whitewash everything else, they whitewash the history. And they made the federal government to be...
Preach.
The Conspiracies Part 5. Did a CIA agent unalive Bob Marley and admit to it on his deathbed? Let's find out.
But according to Oxley, Bob Marley was also placing the goals of the CIA in jeopardy and threatening the existence of the United States. He was succeeding in creating a revolution that used music as a more powerful tool than bullets and bombs. Bob Marley in 1976 was a very serious threat to the global status quo and to the hidden power brokers implementing their plan for a new world order. As far as the agency was concerned, Bob Marley was too successful, too famous, too influential, a Jamaican monster man who started using his funds and fame to support causes around the world that were in direct conflict with the CIA. To be honest, he signed his own death warrant. It's not like we didn't warn him. We sent a few guys to shoot up his house in Kingston. He's referring to the shooting that took place at Bob Marley's house that left him injured in the chest and arm. He said, we have a message for him. We impressed upon him the gravity of the situation he found himself in. He didn't listen. 2 days later in the mountains, I stuck him with the pen. Then he goes on to explain how Bob Marley was actually assassinated, how it played out. 2 days after Bob Marley was shot in the left arm by one of the 3 gunmen who ambushed the singer and some of his crew at his house in Kingston, and after a brief stint in the hospital, Bob Marley traveled to the protected hills of the Blue Mountains and spent time at the highest point in Jamaica, rehearsing for an upcoming concert. According to Oxley, he used press credentials to gain access to Bob Marley when he was on his Blue Mountain retreat. He introduced himself as a famous photographer for the New York Times, and he presented Bob Marley with a gift. I gave him a pair of Converse All-Stars, size 10. When he tried on the right shoe, he screamed out, ouch. That was it. His life was over right then and there. The nail in the shoe was tainted with cancer viruses and bacteria. If it pierced the skin, which it did, it was good night nurse. There had been a series of high-profile assassinations of counterculture figures in the United States in the late 60s, early 70s. By the time Bob Marley's time came around, we thought subtlety was the order of the day. No more bullets and splattered brains. Oxley claims that he kept in close contact with Bob Marley during the later years of his life, ensuring that the medical advice that he received from the doctors in Paris, London, and the United States would hasten his demise rather than cure him. He died from cancer in May 1981. He was just 36 years old. The last time I saw Bob before he died, he had removed the dreadlocks, and his weight was dropping like a stone, he says. He was very withdrawn, unbelievably small. He was shrinking in front of us. The cancer had done its job. The day he died in Miami was definitely one of the most difficult moments in my career. I felt real bad. For a long time, I wasn't comfortable with my part in his death. But eventually, I came to realize it had to be done for America.
So what do you think? Was retired agent Bill Oaksley just making things up just to get a little attention before he died? Or do you think that he actually did this to Bob Marley? Let me know in the comments. Give us a follow.
All I'm gonna say is I heard that story before. Not that far in detail from the person who did it, but I heard it from just like a narration perspective. The narrator was kind of giving that story, but like, whoa, bruh. I wouldn't be shocked if that was how they got Bob Marley up out of here. And that's probably where Suge Knight got the idea to get Eazy-E up out of here. That's probably where he got that idea from. Because it's like, man, he said I gave him some Converse. I posed as a New York Times photographer. I met him at his retreat. He put the shoe on, the right shoe, and said, ow. Meaning he knew.
DARPA was created in 1958, the same year that NASA was created. Right, so you got NASA and DARPA created the same year, 1958. They all of a sudden, everybody leaves Antarctica. We need a treaty. And then the United States and Russia engage in a dig race and a missile race before the space race. The dig race was the United States and Russia immediately start trying to figure out how deep is the Earth, like how far deep can we drill? Right. And the United States gave up early, and the official story is we ran out of funding. Well, yeah, the reason they ran out of funding is because they shifted it off from the dig race into the space race and into Apollo and all that stuff. But the Russians kept digging. In fact, they kept digging into the, I think, the late 80s, early 90s. And the deepest anyone has ever dug into this Earth is less than 8 miles. No one's gone deeper, and yet you can open up any textbook and see diagrams of exactly what's inside the Earth. Well, by the way, we know what the core of Mercury is, and Venus and Mars. We know the core of Jupiter. Like, you don't know anything. It's artwork. We don't even know anything about the Earth either, for that matter. 8 miles, that's as deep as we, not even. So the dig race. Then the missile race. And in the missile race, the United States and Russia both started launching high-altitude nuclear bombs into the sky, and we called it Operation Fishbowl. And if you just Google that, Operation Fishbowl, and watch the archive footage of this, it looks very much like they're hitting something up there. And Fishbowl was part of a larger project called Project Dominic. And I was doing a Nephilim conference, actually, talking about giants and hybrids and stuff in Lubbock, Texas. And Pastor Dan Pressman, we're at his church, and he pulls me aside at one point and says, do you know what the name Dominic means? I'm like, no, he goes, look it up. We look it up. The word Dominic means of the Lord. So we literally called our side of the missile race the Project Fishbowl of the Lord. Like, I'm going, come on! I mean, if you're trying to avoid a conspiracy, you're not helping with the names or the activity. Because what the United States were the big superpowers after World War II. We were the only ones economically, technologically able to do what was done. Right. In the aftermath of World War II. The activity of both superpowers is exactly this type of activity any human being would engage in if you found out you were living in a cage. Right. If you all of a sudden found out under the dome, right? I live in the Colony, Texas. The colony's under a dome. If the Colony, Texas suddenly realized we're under a dome, just like in the TV series, the first thing you're going to try to do is figure out the boundaries. Yeah. How do I get out of this thing? How deep does it go? How high does it go? Where are the edges? That's exactly what we did. Operation Deep Freeze, finding the edges. Operation Dig, whatever you want to call it, I forgot what the actual official name was. They're trying to figure out how deep this, and then Operation Fishbowl, how high does this thing go? And then the United States and Russia engaged in the space race.
Okay, my question is, if we couldn't dig that far, was it less than 8 miles? If we couldn't dig that far into the Earth, how is that not possible if we know that there's underground worlds, cities, things like that? I'm speaking of, when we seen mountains open up and people are underground. Like, yeah, how they say that the reptilians and the draconians stay underground. Like, how is that possible? Or you mean to tell me they between that mile range, they're between, that 8 mile range. Like, they haven't been that far down in that 8 mile range. If that is the case, that's scary. If that is the case, that's scary. But that's where it's throwing me off, where it's like, should I believe that? Or should I believe what I already was believing? Second thing, firing the missiles up. They is right. That is human nature to know if you trap, you trying to find the edges, how far you can go down below and up top. And if they firing some up, are we stuck in the dome? And if we stuck in the dome, doesn't that mean I should go ahead and say this now because somebody in the comments got at me and said I should stop saying Earth's a planet. And I was like, I know that's not a planet. It's flat. So I'm going to stop saying it's a planet so people can't misunderstand what I'm saying or think I'm contradicting myself. So, yeah. Is Earth flat if it is a dome? Because if it's a dome over us, then that means that it's not a planet. It's not a globe. Because we were taught there was space above us. I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions because these are the things that I'm hearing and coming across. So, I'm just starting conversations. So, y'all need to let me know what y'all think. Because I'm a little bit everywhere right now. But I do think it's flat. But I don't believe that we can only drill maybe 8 miles down. I think it go further. Maybe they just not telling all the whole truth like they always do. That's my take on that. But y'all let me know what y'all take is.
The strategy that Werner von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy.
Russia now issuing a new warning to the United States.
Putin parading his nuclear arsenal this past weekend, showing off to the world what Russia is capable of.
Preparing for potential cyber attacks in retaliation for America's actions to counter Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow.
China is using its unprecedented military drills to prepare for a full-scale invasion.
Chinese military has carried out an attack simulation exercise.
China unleashed an intense show of force today.
And the next enemy was asteroids.
An asteroid built ray the size of 2 Empire State Buildings will be passing by Earth today. An asteroid that is wider than the tallest building in the world is set to make one of its closest encounters with Earth.
An asteroid bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, measuring about 525 feet, will be passing by Earth today.
The last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens.
UFOs are a potential national security threat.
We take the issue of unexplained aerial phenomenon seriously.
We don't know who they are. We don't know what it is. It isn't ours.
If there is an adversary with that kind of technology, we definitely need to be very, very careful.
And all of it, he said, is a lie.
Nah, y'all, it's an old video, but it's time to be serious, man. I really got to speak on this shit.
I've been personally playing for about 8 years now.
Hold on, man. Run that shit the fuck back.
I've been personally playing for about 8 years now. It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out. Because the song was so big, and they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt, people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please no, not the Gucci suit. They said, it's the Gucci suit. This is the only way that you can repay for what you've done. And I said, not the Gucci suit, please.
Yeah,
and they said, it's the Gucci suit.
Are joking. They're not joking.
They said, we ran some facial recognition programs on you, and you're going to need to be this man. And you're going to need to also contradict whatever you speak about so you can create a balance in this scene of hip-hop that you're in, because you're the only one who can really pull it off. And I said, oh, man. So, yeah. They came out with this whole thing. Gucci Mane is actually, he's locked up somewhere and he's still fat.
First things first, we need to start listening to these celebrities. Because I ain't gonna lie, Hobson is not fucking joking. Yeah, he may come off joking. He's only joking so when he gets confronted by the Illuminati, he can play it like he was just joking. But that nigga's telling the fucking truth. Nobody does shit like that. Nobody goes live and tells the world that they're pretending to be somebody else for the Illuminati. So peep game though, for all my Gucci fans. Hey, if you know Guwap, we know Guwap ain't going for none of that shit. So you mean to tell me Hobson dropped this video a year ago admitting to be Gucci, and Gucci ain't once, not but once, shot back and let the world know, let his fans know that that's some bullshit? Nah, he just shoots back in joking matters and shit.
Oh yeah, y'all mean to tell me Gucci didn't go to his own mother's funeral? Nah, I know Guwap love his mama, man. Y'all tripping, man.
All celebrities in Hollywood are being controlled.
Man, if I don't know, I don't think Hobson was lightweight lying on that one. He kind of got me convinced, and I seen that video before, cause I be watching sometimes some of the celebrities that's playing other characters. Like I sometimes watch those videos, so yeah, nah, I don't know. He's saying Gucci Mane ain't gonna go for that. Who's to say he is going for it? Who's to say he even has a say so? He might not even be here with us anymore. Like, yeah, he could. Yeah, who's to say he's not? You know, like who's to say he not here with us? And yeah, they letting Hobson just control the whole show. What if that's the case? So he's saying he ain't going for it. What if he can't speak or make a move on it anymore? But yeah, I don't know. He probably is playing Gucci. Don't he look like him though? And that referee, man, time out. My sister showed me the referee. It looked like Gucci Mane. Yeah. He looked like Gucci. I didn't know it at first, but yeah, you know, bro. She up in here while I'm doing this reaction right now. But yeah, she showed me the picture of the referee in the NBA who looked like Gucci Mane. And he probably playing all three. Gucci Mane, the referee, and he playing himself. Because you really don't hear too much music from Hobson anymore. But yeah, we're going to go to the next clip. That's my take.
But higher ups, and here's how I know.
I actually want to say a lot of things, but I'm just going to mind my business because sometimes I feel like I have such a big platform that if I don't say the right things, I might get killed. But
By the right things, she means her agenda. All celebrities have an agenda and role to play. And if they speak on anything outside of that role/agenda, they get targeted. That's exactly why she said what she said in that live. And if you haven't watched that live, she was talking about Russia versus Ukraine and her opinion on that. Here's where it gets a lot more interesting.
I don't want to be that girl anymore. I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? It's like these songs are activating these demons that
Cardi B's agenda is supposed to push this message into the youth. And that's exactly how I know.
Hey, y'all heard about that meeting that happened, right, in the 90s? How they had to change rap? Yeah, we saw that clip before.
But the private prison makes its money either way. Let me explain. First thing to understand about the private prison business is that they're actually government contractors. They enter into a contract. Now, in that contract, they talk about a bunch of different things, but one of those things is price. Let's say it costs $100 a day to house an inmate. Well, naturally, any for-profit company is going to add a little bit of buffer in there so that way they can make a profit. So, the private prison may charge the government $125, $150 per day per inmate, for example. Now that's price. But another thing that might be in that contract is a thing called bed guarantees. This is where the government guarantees the prison that at least 90% of those beds will always be occupied for the duration of the contract. Yeah, the government guarantees it. In a contract. Which might leave you wondering, how can the government be so sure that many people will commit crimes? And the better question, what happens if they don't? Want to know what would happen if we all obeyed the law? The government would have to pay a fee to the private prison. That's right. Yeah, it's in the contract. For every empty bed that is not filled, for every law-abiding citizen that stays on the straight and narrow, the government is punished by having to pay a fee. And that's when you realize citizens are punished when they do commit crimes. The state governments are punished if they don't.
Let me introduce you.
Hey, I didn't think that they would have to pay a fee. I thought that they would close down because they ain't got no business. But y'all notice I just said the meeting that happened in the 90s as far as rap music that led to some of these, what do you call them, record labels wanted to change the way rap sounded from less soul to more drug use, involved, using things like that, killing, stuff like that. It turns into the next clip, and the next clip is talking about these prisons. Ask why these prisons and these record labels work hand in hand together. Like these artists is pumping a certain lifestyle in their music. The masses is listening to this. They're looking up to this. They go to the prisons and make money. Y'all see for who? It all makes sense. We just gotta connect the dots. Like, yeah, it's wild. It's a wicked world. But why would they start with rap music first? And that was the 90s, and it's 2023. Why is we still focused on rap music though? We ain't go to rock. We ain't go to no other genre. We stay with rap though. That's, to me, genocide.
Due to the M81 robot dog equipped with an RPG-28 rocket launcher. I'm telling you, I don't care what you got in your house, the government has something better.
Man, he moving
Just
fast.
imagine what they have, bro. If this is what they show us, imagine what they don't show us. Have you seen Black Mirror?
What, they creating that, huh? That wasn't no UFO.
Everybody sees me walking. I'm walking. Look. This plane isn't moving. It's not moving.
You can hear it though.
But it sounds like it's moving.
Facts. Glitch in the Matrix?
Anytime you see my face, you know you about to get some goddamn education. Welcome to Whitewash, episode 1. Now, first up the bat, we have the founder of Chicago, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. And this motherfucker is not him. The real Jean-Baptiste was a so-called black man, actually of French and Haitian descent, born around 1745. After the establishment of Chicago, he married an indigenous woman named Kitsawa. You know what's crazy? Kitsawa would be considered black these days. On to our next investigation, we have here Honest Abraham Lincoln. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, wait a goddamn minute. But before you reach for your tiki torches, let's see how Honest Abe described himself. Now, Abraham Lincoln described himself as having a dark-skinned complexion and coarse black hair. He also goes to describe his father as having a swarthy complexion and brown eyes. British journalist Edward Dicey stated that Lincoln's uncombed and uncombable dark hair stands up every which way, and that Lincoln's nose and ears were so big they had to be taken from a head twice his size. American writer Nathan Hawthorne said that Lincoln's complexion was dark and hollow, with a big ass nose. So why don't you ever find those features on the pictures you see of him?
You know what I mean? To tell me I'm today years old when I found out Abraham Lincoln was black? No, I don't know. I'm gonna do some research on that one, because if he was black, that'd be wild, right? But then I don't get it, because like if he black, he was a president, and why would we go with Obama being the first black president, supposedly, if they say Obama's black? Because I just came across a video the other day that said he wasn't black, so I'm not sure what to believe now, but I will do my due diligence. But I do want to ask, why when it comes to like a lot of movies, when it comes to like gods of Egypt, why was all of those gods not black if it's in Egypt in that time frame? Egypt is in Africa. That's not the only movie. It's another one that's like that. But I'd be curious, like why we can't get to act those roles. Them is our people. But then again, if you give us those roles, then you gonna give us that game. Then we gonna start realizing, like, bro, we used to be those people. We used to walk amongst these people. This was us. So yeah, and then that make us start thinking from a higher level. You feel what? If y'all get where I'm coming from. So yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the movie Stargate. Exactly same thing, except the frame is square, not round.
With it looking like water.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody tell you what that is in this portal?
Only that it takes you from point A to point B. There's several portals on this planet that I know of, that I've been told of.
And has anybody said when you go from point A to point B, you're leaving this universe and going to another dimension?
I would say some probably do, but the ones that they have experimented on, the point A being per se, heart. Heart, there's a portal there. That portal takes you from heart to right outside of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. And it's not a lingering travel. Once you step through the plane of water, per se, you're there. It's not like the movie Stargate that you see stars coming at you, clouds of space dust. Once you go through that plane of water, you're stepping on to point B.
What you're describing is that we're using extraterrestrial technology that are portals in which you can move A to B in space-time, and we're using it on the Earth to go from Alaska to Hawaii.
And the one that I know of that's been traveled through many times is at the heart facility.
Hey cousins, don't mind my do-rag, I'm retwisting my hair. But did y'all see that new interview with Orlando Brown where he said Soulja Boy is really Whitney Houston? Crazy. But yeah, I remember a couple of years ago where they had that BET tribute to Whitney Houston and Soulja Boy was crying his eyes out and we could not figure out why this grown man was weeping so damn hard. Make a lot of sense now, don't it?
Time out. Orlando Brown said that Soulja Boy is the real Whitney Houston, or he was playing Whitney Houston. Whatever he said, Orlando Brown, man, that dude funny, and yeah, he's so funny. Sometimes he say stuff, you be like, bro, you tripping. But then sometimes when he say stuff, you be like, man, he's so real, you gotta believe it. Like, yeah, he be saying a lot. But as soon as she said, Orlando Brown said it, I could hear him saying it. That's the cold part. But I'm an Orlando Brown fan. I am. He had his rough patches, but he trying.
Your scientists tell us that we're only using 10% of our brain to wake up. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And then genetic scientists tell us that 97% of our DNA is junk. It has no purpose. It's just there. We're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's cool. Now, I don't want to go full-blown ancient aliens, but that's where I'm headed. 200,000 years ago, around about, something happened to us. We were like unplugged. We have 7 energy centers, and the top 5 were unplugged. And we were left with survival and reproduction. And so we're like walking around this planet. We're like, dude, what's going on? Why are we here? Dude, what's going on? Why are we here? So my point is what would happen if our DNA started to wake up? What if our DNA came back online? Who would we be? What is our potential? Well, we're about to find out.
He ain't lying. That's how we got this channel going. Something told me try it, and we ran with it.
Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day, minute by minute.
I was reading this last night. Murder by decree. The crime of genocide in Canada. Huh? Y'all don't want to talk about how they killed 50,000 kids in Canada. The Canadian government, the British government, and the United States. And how they switched the legal definition of genocide so that they can get away with it. Let me show y'all the book. Everybody go get this book. The United States government, the Canadian government, and the British government murdered 50,000 children in Canada. Queen Elizabeth killed 10 of them. Huh? This shit got real documents in there. Queen Elizabeth went to Canada, and kids testified that she left her and Philip left with 10 kids and never seen them again. And they found mass grave sites of dead bodies. The government of the world are trafficking children. And nobody want to say nothing about it. Oh.
Yeah, if y'all remember, I remember bringing that story up to y'all that's out there where Queen Elizabeth is at, well, was at, maybe still is. Y'all know what I mean. But y'all, and we went over this in the comments about that story in particular. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the way Young Pharaoh be talking, I'm surprised they didn't go after him like they went after Jamal Rashad. Straight up. Cause he been coming with game and lacing people up for I don't know how long. So I'm shocked that they ain't came for him yet. But yeah, see, I knew I was familiar with that story, but I didn't know it was more. I didn't know the number was higher than just, I thought it was like 12. But he said 10. But the number got even more, you know, as far as what the total number he threw out there was like, what, 100 or something? It's crazy. But I did see the name Pizzagate. I have seen that name. I just don't like touching that subject. It's too touchy for me.
You remember that song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? How'd that song go? Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Think about those lyrics all the time.
I like how he be throwing stuff out there.
There's a conspiracy theory going on right now. But what about you? What I do now? No, it was at one of your fights. And there's someone in the crowd with a camera phone.
One of these phones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, iPhone, right?
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that too.
That ain't trip you out?
Somebody said that freaked me out.
Time traveling.
The sky was lit up blood red color in Russia, symbols of what we've seen in China earlier this year. This was reported in St. Petersburg, Russia. As you can see, residents looking out of windows, and that the sky is so red that it literally made the water reflect a red color as well. Now, a lot of talks have been said that Elon Musk's Starlink potentially could be being blocked by Russia in an operation to stop them from using it in the skies for military operations, but that is unconfirmed as far as right now. Usually, when the sky turns red, it could be an omen, but sailors say that this is dust particles in the atmosphere. Another thing could be that basically the war that's been happening in Ukraine could have caused some of these break-off particles of dust from different technology to float around in the atmosphere and suspend itself. What's more strange is that none of the officials have come out and said, don't worry, these are just lights from, a boat, or, this is just something happening in the atmosphere this normal. There's been no reports of anything talking about why this red sky is happening. So that could mean that if it is something to do militarily, it must be a hush-mouth thing told for news media not to get involved. But, however, as far as right now, residents are getting images and video of what's happening. There's been no other reported information on this event.
Man, the Mike Tyson time traveler, that remind me of a story, and I know some of y'all done seen it. It was on TikTok where the dude was time traveling. I think it was two occasions. One where the dude was on TikTok and he was in a whole world. The world was empty though, like if he was in another dimension or something, or a parallel universe. But then there was another video of them talking about a guy that came from something with a T, so like a country or a state or something that didn't exist, and they think he came from another universe or something. And his ID looked real, and he was like, yeah, but they said when they let him go, they haven't found him since. So I'm not sure as far as like, yeah, that story. But those two remind me of the Mike Tyson dude who came and popped up and took the picture, and the phone looked like, a 2023 phone. It looked like an iPhone, like with the camera, or like an Android or something. But I mean, yeah, what y'all think? Time traveling? Y'all think he time traveling? And then what with this last one with the red sky? I don't know if it's going down in Russia like that. I mean, who's to say it didn't come from some military type thing? That's the only thing I can think of. They've been bombing the hell out of Ukraine. Y'all know they've been going crazy on Ukraine. But Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but y'all let me know. But man, it's been a long one. I appreciate y'all if y'all stuck through this video all the way through. If you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you already notified whenever we make these uploads weekly. And when you like the video, it helps the community grow. If you've been here and you've been rocking with this channel from day one, appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. Man, till I see y'all in the next one, we gone.